They say perfumes make memories speak. That's so true. There are so many moments in my life just captured in fragrances. Yes, not in pictures, but fragrances. The smell of my mum's Earl Grey tea. The way my school smelled in November with the bloom of the Alistonia trees. But how is it that fragrances can create such memories, experiences, and emotions in just a whiff? The man behind some of the world's most loved fragrances. The man behind the beautiful Noura range from SKINN by Titan. Say hello to Principal Perfumer Ilias Ermenidis, who has been creating masterpieces for over 40 years. He's here to share some of his secrets and tell us how an idea turns into a fragrance. This is Notes from a Perfumer. Let's get started. Welcome, Ilias.
Thank you. Thank you, Mira. This is a great question, actually. The moment an idea becomes a fragrance is magical and promising, and I really believe in it. But I'll tell you all about it during our conversation.
I'm excited to have this chat with you and discuss the world of fragrances, because a smell is that one sense that you remember, but it's also difficult to put it into words and, have like a tactile experience when you're thinking about it. What inspires you when you're thinking about creating a new fragrance and developing something that's unique?
Look, one of the most amazing things about my work is that I feel a different artist every day. One day I might feel like a chef in the kitchen. The other day I might feel like an architect putting together a structure. This is how we put the pillars of a fragrance, the ingredients together. But I find inspiration I can find even inspiration in a boring dinner, where my mind would wander into my formulas and think about that project and that project. But mainly, clients, ingredients, travel, nature. Nature is an amazing source of inspiration. Architecture. I'll go walk in Paris and get inspiration.
That's such an interesting choice of profession, because there aren't many perfumers and even fewer master perfumers like you. So Ilias, it's called the art of perfume making. So is it art? Is it chemistry? What is it?
Definitely agriculture and chemistry. But also we discuss creative process, and I always say that I feel like an artist in residence. So the answer is, it's alchemy.
That's a lovely way to put it. But a perfume is a form of self-expression. It's evoking through smell how you feel or how you want others to see you. Does it make you feel confident? Does it make you feel sexy? Does it make you feel happy? Does it make you feel pretty?
There are many reasons why people use fragrance. Many reasons. I use fragrance all the time. Even though I'm surrounded by smells, I always use the same fragrance. I'm very loyal. In the past 7, I think I created in 2015 in New York. And I always use the same fragrance only because it's my signature. If I don't wear fragrance, I cannot walk out of the house. I feel like I forgot to wear, one of my shoes, or I forgot to wear a shirt. So many different ways to wear a fragrance, to seduce, to feel confident, to draw attention, or just for oneself, for your well-being, for your mental well-being, for your aesthetic well-being, whatever it is.
That's interesting, because the way that my perfume smells in the first 5 minutes of me putting it, and then smelling my clothes or like a jacket that I probably would have worn, is different. But it's the smell that stays in my clothes that still evokes that memory. Like I remember pulling out my school sweater, and you smell that sweater and instantly you're transported with the memory.
That's what we were saying before. Memory brings emotions, memory, they're very linked, and probably you're very addicted to your smell or to your fragrance of the time, and it probably had ambrox, which made it very long-lasting. Joke apart, when you take a sweater, even after a month, you're always going to smell the dry down, what is the lingering dry down, the base notes of this fragrance, and this is what is basically very addictive. And also it's what makes that we repurchase a fragrance. I like my fragrance to have addiction. I like my fragrance to be smelled from this scent out at the vanity bar. A fragrance, first of all, has to smell good. That's the aesthetics. That's rule number one. It has to smell good. But then you have many parameters that make a fragrance a success. It has to have sillage, aura. It has to have diffusion. It has to have projection, so that when you walk by, you know, somebody gets a whiff and is going to come walk up to you and ask you, sorry, ma'am, what are you wearing? So a fragrance should have a lot of, it has to leave an impression. It has to stay. It has to have a lot of technical characteristics other than the aesthetic characteristics. And we always marry all this into the creation. That's why creating a fragrance takes a long time. As I always say, between the idea and the end of the fragrance, it can take anywhere from 3 minutes to 3 years.
So how is it working with Skin by Titan and creating Noura?
The team at Skin has amazing concepts. They have great packaging. They choose the best ingredients. They are very, very demanding. It was an amazing collaboration between me sitting between Paris and New York and them in Mumbai. And it was back and forth. And it was just like every big international development. And I hope that the consumers will appreciate what went into creating those two fragrances.
Okay, Ilias, we've spoken so much about the art of perfumes, and we actually have two beautiful perfumes that have been created by you. It's the Noura range from Skin by Titan. I have had a whiff of both of them, and they're both very different. They're beautiful, but they're also very sexy. So how have you put sexiness into a bottle?
So I think you're very right. They are both floral, and they both are inspired by flowers that are loved by Indian women. One is jasmine and tuberose, and we put the sexy with ambrox, the sexiest molecule alive I was talking about before.
That's why I like it.
Exactly. And then the other one is rose and ylang ylang, and we put the sexy through musk, special musk, mucinon. So in both fragrances, you have the combinations, the floral duos, rose and ylang, jasmine and tuberose. All these flowers evoke India, in my opinion.
Let's have a whiff. Let's do that.
Let's do that. She just layered them.
I love this one.
Okay. Both of them, for me, when I think about Indian women, confidence, joy, optimism, grace, love of flowers.
Ilias, it's been such a pleasure discovering the world of perfumes and understanding from you the finesse, the nuances of fragrances and perfumery. And when I think back of this conversation that I've had with you, I know I'm going to be smelling Noura.
Mira, thank you for having me here. I hope that our Indian audience will have the same passion and will have a lot of food for thought after our interview. Thank you again.